Good morning, good afternoon, y'all. So today I was going over 2 Kings chapter 4 about the woman whose husband passed away, and she had nothing left with her to provide for her and her two sons. I believe it was two sons. Her and her sons. And so the prophet Elisha comes, and she goes to him to ask for advice, letting him know, like, hey, there's debts that we have and I can't pay them. They want to take my sons as slaves to pay the debt that we have after my husband has passed. And he asked her what she had, and she says that she had nothing except a small jar of olive oil. In the King James Version says like a small pot of oil, but this is from the NIV that I'm coming from. But basically a small jar of oil. So I have nothing. I just have this small jar of oil. He tells her to go in there. He says to go around and ask her neighbors for empty jars, and then to go inside, shut the doors, and fill the empty jars with the oil and put the full ones aside. And basically she, poured it, each empty jar, kept filling it up until the point where she had no more jars. She had no more vessels, and that's when the oil stopped. And so really the miracle in this is that obviously she had a small jar of oil, but she's filling multiple other jars that are empty. Like how the miracle is that as she's pouring, the oil is obviously replenishing itself, continuing to come out and to pour. And so I've heard this in other teachings from pastors and stuff, but like really it was nothing beyond like, oh, okay, it's a miracle. I couldn't apply it practically really. A few weeks ago, actually, my pastor told me to look at this. And so that's what brought me to it again today. I know I forgot for a little bit. But anyways, so I'm back. I finally came to it today, and I'm having a better understanding. And so I'm understanding, when she says, I only have, I have nothing, I only have a small jar of oil. That small jar of oil, we can presume that it's not cooking oil or anything. It's anointed oil. And I'm thinking, sometimes we feel like I don't have anything. There's nothing that I have. All I have is basically the anointing. Is how you can view that. It's like almost like she almost discounted it. And I think sometimes when we are at a point where we feel like we have nothing, or it's nothing that we can do that can produce anything or help us to provide or take care of the things that we need taken care of in our lives, and it's like, what does God put in you? That anointing within your jar, within your vessel, that anointing, that oil, that He is going to use that to provide for you. And the thing is I couldn't understand at first when I would hear this. I'm like, okay, she went around borrowing, and I heard it, but I'm like, I don't really know, when are we supposed to like borrow, or But what I understood from it today is not necessarily like borrowing, like, oh, hey, you got money, or hey, you got food for, like just empty vessels. If we view ourselves and understand ourselves as vessels that God uses, if I have nothing but the anointing that God has put on the inside of me, best believe He wants to, and will use that to be a blessing to others, to fill others up. And as I'm pouring out, I don't have to worry about running on empty, because I know He's filling me up. So as He's filling me up, I'm pouring out. I'm looking at empty vessels. I'm looking around at those that are around me and asking myself, what does this person need? How can I be a blessing to them? What do I have on the inside of me that can be a blessing to them? What do I have on the inside of my jar, on the inside of my vessel? What anointing is on the inside of me that I can pour out into another jar, into another vessel, into someone else that needs something? There's something I have. There's something He's put on the inside of me that He wants to use for someone else. And I don't have to worry about giving it out, pouring it out, because as I'm pouring it out, He's filling it up. That's the miracle. It never runs out. And so at the end of this passage, it says that her sons were bringing her the empty jars. And then when she asked, she said, bring me another one. They replied, there is not a jar left. And then it says, then the oil stopped flowing. So her blessing, her filling was coming and coming so much as at the level of her faith, basically. Like, do you have big faith or little faith? Do you have big faith to keep on pouring out, keep on giving out, keep on blessing, keep on allowing yourself to be used by God? Do you have that level of faith to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep pouring, keep doing, keep operating in your, do you have that faith? Because at the point of that faith runs out and you looking around and you saying, I don't have any more vessels, I don't see any more need around, I don't see any more use for what's on the inside of me, the oil, it stops flowing. That's what it says. The oil stops flowing. Because really what it is, as I'm pouring out, as I'm being used by God, as I'm operating in the anointing on my life, he's filling me up. But as I stop, it's basically at a standstill. Because what filling up do I need if I'm not pouring out? I hope this makes some sense. So what I'm saying basically is that anointing that God put on the inside of you, it is going to provide for you. That anointing that he wants you to use, it's not going to run out as you're using it. You can, whatever the anointing is, I will let you decide. You can figure out what that is. Your gifts, your purpose, your talents, whatever it is that you know is on the inside of you, that God has put on the inside of you, and he wants to use it. So I think of myself and what I can provide to others, and I look around and I look for how I can bless someone. Do I have it within me? Because I can say I don't have anything, but when I look, I'm like, well, this is a little that I have. It's this anointing. I could say it's little, but it's really not little. It's something really big. And so as I allow God to use that little thing that I thought was so insignificant that's within me, and I use it and I pour it out to fill someone else up. And hopefully they go forward, and now that they're filled, pour it out into someone else, and the blessing multiplies. So hopefully this is what happens. Is as God is filling us up, we continue to pour based on our faith. And we know that at the end of it, it'll provide. As long as you are operating in what he's telling you to do, obeying and having faith, you will be provided for. But you have to trust, and there is work on your part. She had to actually do something. At the end of this, the prophet told her to go and sell the jars that she filled. And she was able to pay off the debt and also have money left over to take care of her and her sons. So that is what the point of this message is that anointing that God put on you, inside of you, that thing that he put on the inside of you, that whatever it is that you have, it's all different for each person, like what God has given us. So I wish I can give specific examples, but I can't. I can give my own examples, but that'll take too much time, and I already took a lot of y'all times. But I just want y'all to sit and reflect on this today, and this is what I'm sitting on too. Like, okay, God, which of my neighbors, who around me has an empty jar, who has a need? Do I have something on the inside of me that can help them, that can bless them? Show me how, show me what to do, and I'm going to pour out as you tell me to pour out, God. And I know as I pour out, you're going to continue to fill me up. And as I pour out, I'm always going to be provided for. So that's my word on today. Again, that was 2 Kings chapter 4. So, yeah. God bless you guys. And stay encouraged.